Computer science is a relatively new field of study and is only between 60 and a few hundred years old, depending on where you start. Computer science began as mathematics, with large mechanical calculating machines. Ada Lovelace, who is widely regarded to be the first programmer, wrote algorithms for such a machine. Progress in computer science really started to take off in World War II, with code making and breaking. Alan Turing, an English mathematician and the father of computer science, was one such codebreaker. Development went even faster in the Cold War. During the space race, NASA experimented with computers to calculate the trajectories for rockets and satellites. However, these computers were still new and relatively untested, so they relied on human computers for the more risky manned missions, like Katherine Johnson, famous for her work on Friendship 7 and feature of the movie Hidden Figures.
This computing complex, one of the world's largest, collects, processes, and sends to mission control all the information needed to direct every phase of the Apollo mission at over 3 times the speed of earlier systems. The complex works in real time, meaning almost as fast as events are happening.
Dynamics retro.
During the Apollo mission, the main Mission Operations Control Room is supported by 6 nearby staff support rooms. In these rooms, men keep close tabs on the various systems of the spacecraft. They check the information flowing in and establish trends for long-term performance. Throughout the mission, flight controllers constantly check and analyze the status of the spacecraft. Are all systems operating within pre-established limits? Are mission events occurring as planned? The physical conditions of the flight crew are also of prime concern. Are respiration rates normal? Should the astronauts drink more water?
You got it up there, gun?
Yeah, I got it. That looks pretty good.
Okay, I want to go to
how do you digital?
Through all the phases of the Apollo mission, the real-time computing complex provides flight controllers with the display information they need to make recommendations concerning the flight crew and the spacecraft. Near the end of the Apollo mission, when re-entry is about to begin, it is again the computer complex which provides updated information for the spacecraft computer so that Apollo can make a controlled re-entry. Mission Control, through its vast communications and computing resources, finally directs the recovery of the flight crew.
Okay.
Aircraft and ships.
Now we got the selected
Go ahead,
AGC
Retro.
source for high speed from Canaries, and that's reading 107.3
Yeah,
by 101.
right. Will you say
So we
it
got
again,
a bind.
please?
They're both.
The control of an Apollo mission, be it an Earth orbital flight or a trip to the moon, takes place in this room. Success depends on the flight controllers and the critical real-time decisions they must make for the astronauts and their spacecraft.
We agree. Right on to. Okay. Right, yeah.
Go ahead.
How's it look for nominals, George?
Go with the nominals.
Roger that.
100%.
You bet.
We're home.
Computers became more recognizable in the 1960s and 70s, though some of the earliest personal computers needed to be built at home. The average person normally wouldn't put in the time and effort to build these computers, so there was a rather high barrier to entry for computer science as a study. However, it could be seen as a good thing for prospective programmers and computer engineers, since they were forced to learn the ins and outs of the computers they were going to use. In 1977, the Apple II was released, and computers were introduced into the home, workplace, and schools.
The computer being queried by this librarian can give her instant information on the whereabouts of any of the thousands of books in her charge. The computer, an ingenious collection of electronic hardware, was created by man. It is also man who creates the programs that make the computer the useful tool that it is. Without a program, a computer is no more productive than a player piano without a music roll, or a jukebox without a record. Still, whether the big machines are creative or not is irrelevant when you consider their usefulness and efficiency. Billions of correct mathematical operations between eras, the equivalent of 1,000 people, computing for a lifetime without making a mistake.